and welcome to KennyRoy.com. I'm Kenny Roy. This is the Ask Videomail for the week of August 12th, 2013. Welcome to the site to you new members, and welcome back to the old members. The Ask Videomail is your chance to get your question in character animation or performance answered in a video just like this one, but I need your question if I'm going to answer it. So please send your questions to webmaster@kennyroy.com. I go through all the questions and I answer the ones that I think will help the most people. There is no such thing as a stupid question, believe me, and it is the best way to get the most out of this site. It is shaping up to be a very exciting summer. I think that I told you in one of the previous video mails that I have some very exciting bids out. They're all looking very good. What a great wrap up to the summer it would be if all these bids land. I would be able to employ at least a dozen animators, and I'll be putting the word out. If you are looking for a job, definitely follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and here on KennyRoy.com, because that is where I'm going to be posting my stuff. I don't really like to put out, job postings on the usual suspects. I like to keep it in the family. Keep it here and sort of reward you guys a little bit by making it so that you guys hear first about things like job offers and stuff like that. I have to record a few. I'm just letting you know right now. I'm not going to say this in the next couple video mails that I'm recording, but I have to record a few video mails in advance right now. Why? Because my wife is 8 months pregnant, and she was 3 weeks early with our last one. So the my second son, number 2, is going to be due. He's due in a month, but who knows? Who knows with this one? So I kind of want to make sure that there's no interruption on KennyRoy.com. So you're going to see, this blue shirt in a few video mails. So this, because I have to record a few in a row. Okay. So, but at any rate, it was great that I had a slew of Ask Videomail questions, but I still need more Ask Videomail questions. I announced it as well last week that every single Ask Videomail question that you send in, I will give you a free day on the site. So if you send in, and they don't have to be earth-shattering questions, send them in to me. Let me decide what is the nugget in there that is worth sharing with everybody else. If you think it's a stupid question, I promise you it's not. That's why in that intro that I do every single time, I say there's no such thing as a stupid question. I really mean that. There's no such thing. Okay, because what you might think is a stupid question may inspire me to tell a story or to give a demonstration on something that is completely unrelated. Okay, so please send in your questions. I can always use more questions, and to incentivize this whole process, I'm giving away one free day for every question you send in. All right, so send in 5 questions, and I'll send you send you 5 days free on top of your subscription. Right? Seem like a fair deal? I think it's pretty sweet. Okay? And if you're on the trial, you can do this too. It's not just people who are not on the trial. If you're on the trial, you can get this too. Okay? This week's question I'm very excited about. It's a good one. Let's check it out. Thank you for sending in this awesome question. Really, this is all going to come down to one phrase, okay, which is always animate to camera. Always animate to camera. Now, that kind of makes game animators think to themselves, like, well, wait, what the hell, man? Why? What are we supposed to do? All right, this is why we have to consider where the camera is at all times. Okay, so for like game animators, for the majority of the time, if you're like behind the character and you're doing a run, that's where you're going to do your run. All right. Now, of course, you're going to want the run to work mechanically and work through space and not slide and all these things. But for the most part, you're going to be tracking your arcs this way, right? You're going to want to make sure that you have that nice weight and that run is working to camera. Okay. Now, if you are working in film or TV or commercials or whatever, you have a still camera, or you have a camera that is rendered from, and from that camera, you can really track your arcs with near infinite detail and get it all looking beautifully. Now, what this animator is asking is if you want to showcase a walk cycle, how is the camera, how do you make it so that a walk cycle works from every angle? Well, it's very simple. You're just thinking about the problem in the wrong direction. You're just thinking about it backwards. You don't make a walk cycle that works to every single, from every single angle, that has beautiful arcs from every single angle. You set up your camera. You do a walk cycle, set up your camera, and then fix the walk cycle to every single angle of the camera. Okay? That's just it. All right? Now, it's a lot more work. And normally, when I see walk cycles on demo reels, there's a front view, right? This is for games. A front view, right? It's orthographic. A side view, it's also orthographic. And then a perspective 3/4 view. Normally a little bit raised and kind of like 3/4 down almost as well, right? So that's normally what you see. So you only have 3 angles to work with. And so it's a lot easier to kind of like polish those arcs and look around. But if you want to showcase your walk cycle and show that it works in all directions, you're sort of cheating. You're sort of, I mean, that's not actually real. That's not possible. A walk cycle doesn't work in every single direction. It just doesn't. So you're actually kind of pulling a little bit of a smoke and mirrors kind of bait and switch kind of deal when you do that on your demo reel. Is that bad? No, it's great. Go ahead and do that because it's going. The end effect is going to be that it looks like you cracked that egg and that you figured out a way to actually make a walk cycle work from every single direction. But what you're actually going to do is you're going to consider, you're just going to change what you're thinking about your walk cycle as from like a game cycle that works in all directions to a shot that you have to animate to camera. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is what you do. Work on your walk cycle. Get it to a point where it is looking really, really good. Okay, then set up your camera, orbit it around, and if you want it to go once around, and maybe that's like 4 steps or so, I don't know, once around, then start looking through that camera and making tweaks and changes to that camera. And then you'll have the end result will be a shot that it's almost as if it came from a commercial or a TV show or from a film, where there's this character walking and the camera goes all the way around him, and the director was nitpicky and saying, fix all these arcs, every single frame, get to fix all these arcs, and that's what you did. Okay, so let me show you. I have a walk cycle from the How to Cheat series that I can use to demonstrate this. Let me show you how you do this. Okay, so here we have Goon in his walk cycle. Okay, so this is basically where your starting point would be, right? Am I right? And so great. So now we have this walk cycle, and now what you would do if you want to sort of, I mean, it is a little bit of a trick that you're pulling on the viewer, as if your walk cycle can work from every single angle. All right. I mean, for instance, from directly straight on, I don't think there's like enough side to side in his body. It's very up and down, I would say. It looks great in profile though, and 3/4 it looks pretty nice too. Although that side to side is affecting a little bit, but like the arc on that elbow is maybe a little flat. So at any rate, so what we're going to do is we're going to just add. First thing is we're going to make this cycle work. There's a cool script called Alien Cycle on Creative Crash that allows you to bake all of your animation on curves, bake all your curves just on the keys that you've set. So you don't have to bake this in, but I can just do it using the graph editor. Okay, so I'm just going to bake all these channels on the timeline, and so we have keys on every single frame now. Okay, so that I can just edit it, and we're not going to go too crazy here. We're just going to make a curve. I should not have interactive creation on. There we go. All right, this is going to be our camera's path. right? I'm going to create a camera and aim. Let's aim it right at his, middle of his torso. I'm going to select the camera now. And this path in animate menu, I'm going to go motion path, attach to motion path. Oops. It's probably best to group it. There we go. And now select this. Okay. And now we want to rotate this just so that it has a good start position for us. Maybe at the front. Actually, you know what? For a walk cycle, just because you don't want to have to loop that render, you probably want to start it somewhere like over here, right? Now let's look through selected, or look through the camera one. And now we can just adjust the camera's aim. Where is my outliner? Here it is. To be a little bit more like that. There we go. So now we have our rotating camera, okay? And so this is what maybe you would render. So you check it out. It's 147 frames. That's perfect. You wouldn't want anything longer than this on your demo reel, right? And so now this is what you do. You treat this as your shot. You pretend that this is the way, this is how on your demo reel that the shot has just been created, all right? Like for a film or whatever. So let's like walk through and kind of like pick some things out. Okay, so here's a good example. So from front view, let me go perspective here. Okay, from the front, we do see that there is just the slightest amount of the arms, kind of just slightest of them kind of going around the hips, right? You see that? Just a slight amount. Right? I'm talking about this rotation outwards like this, okay? However, as the camera comes around this way, it's actually sort of like orbiting into the arc of this arm. You see that? And it's very straight. We've lost all of that kind of orbiting around the hip, okay? So I'm going to adjust that really quickly, and we'll see what we get. So let me go back to my graph editor. Okay, and now what road is this? This is rotate Z. See, it's the slightest amount. It's very, very, very small. It's 2 degrees. Okay, so I'm also going to do just a little bit of simplification. If you go to curve, simplify curve, that's not good. Let me just time value 0.1. Let's see if we 0.01 apply. No. Classic simplify. There we go. Sometimes the classic simplify works a little bit better. Anyway, so here we have something that looks just a little bit more like the cycle that we started with. Okay, and we don't need to adjust any of that stuff over there. All right. So I'm just going to adjust this rotate Z as it comes around the side here. I'm just going to adjust it a little bit more outward so that we get the feeling that it's actually separating from the hip, right? Because as we're orbiting around, again, the problem is that we're not getting the sense that it's kind of like coming around the hip because the rotation is actually counter to the camera's kind of like orbit, right? Right. Okay, so now, hopefully, as we come around this time, you see how that feels just slightly more, that his arm is kind of swinging around? Let's do the right thing, right? And what do I always say? I always say you don't know until you see it, so let's experiment and double it, okay? And I know this looks ridiculous like here, but let's just watch it. Okay, well that is probably too much, but it's not actually terrible. It's too much, but it's not like awful. Let's just split the difference from what we had before. Yeah, see, that's not bad. But look how far it's coming out compared to how much it normally does right here, right? Look how much it comes out. That's a lot. But in silhouette and just like just like spacing this out a little bit, it actually looks pretty darn good. Okay, and I would say the other way as well. We definitely want it to go back and have a lot bigger of an arc as well on the way back. All right, see, but now it flattened out. See that? All right, see how this arm right now, it's like being completely static right there. All these frames right here, it's just completely static. We've lost something. All right, we've lost something. Let's come back and see if we can't fix it. I actually think the rotate Y is what we need, to be totally honest. No, wait, X. Curve, simplify. Yikes. That didn't do what I wanted it to on this curve. Let's try this. There we go. That's a lot better. All right, so it's twisting just a wee bit. Okay. On the front here, I want it to turn in a little bit. Turn in a little bit more. All right, and now we need to change when it rotates back. It needs to actually take a little bit of a quicker. It needs to rotate out a little bit quicker, so it comes in and back. You see that? Watch. In and back. You see that? Now it comes in, and there's no moment now when it's static right here, and it's just a forearm staying completely still. See? So that's basically how it's done. You go frame by frame, and you just watch as the arcs are kind of like, just like drawn by the limbs and the silhouette and the pose and everything. And when you come to the end, basically you have a shot. You don't treat it like a game walk cycle. You don't try to kind of like, crack the nut on is that a perfect walk cycle that works in every single angle. It's not really possible, because even a perfect arc, like a C shape, even a perfect arc, all you have to do is just look at it this way and it's flat, right? That's it. So it's a really great question. I really hope that the tips I gave just now help you build a better reel that's filled with these mysterious cycles that work from all directions, and you get a job really quickly, and they're like, how did you do that? And you're like, I got you. No, you'll do fine. That was a great question. Please send more. Like I said, I can always use more. Thanks for being a part of the site. Good luck with your animation, and as always, rock on.